Hi my dear YouTubers, it's Alex Davidson with you today. Another interesting question asked, and I will try to answer it today. We were asked if it's possible, if it's really possible to come to Canada under the temporary visa and afterwards change your status, try to get employed as a long-haul driver or U-haul driver, they are called sometimes, and stay in Canada and immigrate afterwards, right? I will try to explain your process like step by step, A to Z, so you would at least understand like which difficulties you might be facing. If you're coming in Canada and you would like to get employed as a long-haul driver, first of all, of course, the first difficulty which you will probably face is you would have to get that temporary visa. We're talking on the situation when you're coming from a country where visa is required, right, to Canada. So if not, lucky you. If visa is required indeed in this situation, chances are that you could be refused. Even if you're not refused, please do not forget about one simple fact. You have to have that experience of driving those trucks. So do not hide it, for God's sake, because when you would be changing your status, potentially you got an employer, we will talk about that later, but when you would be changing your status, what lots of people are facing is the difficulty because they did not explain properly initially when they applied for a temporary visa that they actually have that experience driving trucks. If you do not do this, 99% your further way of getting employed as a truck driver and getting work status in Canada would be closed. So please keep it in mind. If you're applying for temporary visa, you have to demonstrate your real truck driving experience. You cannot hide it, okay, because it would be revealed in the future and potentially you would be refused. So say you came in here, now doesn't really matter if you get driver's experience from United States, from Europe, from Australia, it doesn't really matter. You have to get Canadian driver's license. So you'll probably have to go to driver's school. It will take you a month, 2-3 months to get Canadian driver's license as a U-haul truck driver. What lots of schools are doing, especially I call them like community driving schools, like with the Indian management, with Russian management, with whatever management. And sorry guys, I don't want to disrespect anyone, but they will try to sell you the idea of getting employment. So they will tell you, like, if you pay us $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 more, we will help you get employed. Sorry, bullshit, complete 100% bullshit. I've heard these stories many times before, and all these companies are doing is providing you a list of known companies which might be hiring foreigners. Okay, this list you could find in Google. You could just dial those companies yourself. You do not need to pay for that several $1,000s. And besides, if owners of these companies are listening to us, guys, it's illegal. Okay, if somebody tells me a name of such a company, I promise you, I will complain. I will complain to IRCC, and yes, you would be charged for that. Now, going further with that. So, say you found a trucking, school. You indeed passed all the exams, so you get your truck driver's license. Now you got to find an employer. And it's not that easy because the employer is not anyone. It has to be an employer which has that ability or permission to hire foreign workers, LMIA. If an employer is willing to hire you but does not have that open LMIA, means it would take him or her like from 4 to probably 6, 7, 8 months to obtain it, which is again not that easy, and chances are that LMIA would be refused. So watch our previous videos on what is LMIA and how to get it. Provided that the employer got that LMIA, provided that the employer is happy hiring you, because what happens is another circumstance when the employer has trucks which are moving not just across Canada but between Canada and the United States, so you have to have that US visa, which could be another issue for you because that visa could be refused as well. So provided that you got all of those, you might apply for the work permit. And again, might apply for it because chances are you would be refused at that stage as well. Remember what I told you a couple of minutes ago. If you did not demonstrate your working experience, your truck driving experience when you applied for temporary visas, you could be refused and you could be deported from Canada. And last but not least, if everything worked fine for you, you might find yourself in a situation when you got your work permit, you got everything ready, lucky you're working, but the province when your employer is located, the province where you're allowed to work does not allow you to immigrate, simply because truck drivers, they are not under NOC 0A or B, so you cannot apply for the skilled federal program. So you have to look for the province where you could do this. So say you got to go to Atlantic province, you got to go maybe to Manitoba. Difficulties again. Do not forget, please, that you have to live somewhere. You have to feed yourself. You maybe, if you potentially are taking all these risks, you're coming from a country where your family is not very well doing, so you have to send money to them. And yes, we have examples of successful applicants who did, right? But trust me, it's below 5% out of those coming in. Just look at the number of people going to the truck driving school, okay? It's hundreds and hundreds. Every single month, hundreds of people are applying for truck driving license. Every month, those people are getting this license, and it takes a hell lot of efforts and time and money to do that. If you're deliberate enough, if you're ready to do that, if you're stubborn enough, go for it. I mean, who am I to persuade you not to do this? But chances are there are many other programs which would be more suitable for you. Watch our videos for them. Stay tuned with us. If you got any questions, our contacts at the end of the video.